Before you even think this is just another old penny video, stop right there, because what you're about to see could change your life overnight. Hidden in your old change, in your grandpa's drawer, or lying forgotten in a dusty box, could be a coin worth millions of dollars today. These are not ordinary coins. These are fortune changers, rare Lincoln Wheat pennies that have made people millionaires overnight. First up, the coin that may look simple, small, and silent, yet hides a story so unbelievable that it can make your heart skip a beat. Yes, we're talking about the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny, a tiny coin that once bought candy, but today it holds the power to buy mansions. This isn't just a coin, it's a sleeping fortune, a time capsule of pure American history, waiting to change someone's life forever. Imagine this, a coin worth 1 cent when it was minted, now selling for hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in top-grade condition. This is not a dream. This is reality for those lucky enough to find one of the rare 1953 Wheat pennies in pristine, untouched condition. People who once thought they had pocket change discovered they were sitting on life-changing treasure. Let's take you back to the year 1953, when the world was rebuilding, when the U.S. Mint struck millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies, never realizing that a few of them would one day become priceless. The Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint all made this coin, but only a handful came out with flawless perfection, or even rarer, minting errors that would shock collectors today. Now here's where things get unbelievable. A 1953 Wheat penny in MS 67 plus red condition, a fiery, flawless, red-toned gem, sold for over $220,000 at auction. Yes, a single penny fetching the kind of money that could buy you a luxury car, a home, or even start your dream business. And that's just one example. But let's go deeper, because not every valuable 1953 penny looks shiny and new. Some of the most valuable ones are error coins, struck by mistake, with double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. Each flaw makes the coin more unique, more rare, and more desirable. Collectors and experts call them million-dollar mistakes, because these tiny imperfections can add zero after zero to the price tag. There are stories, almost unbelievable, of people finding these error coins in old jars, coffee tins, or inherited boxes and realizing they were holding something worth a small fortune. Imagine finding a 1953 Wheat penny with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's face appears slightly shadowed or the words, "In God We Trust," look doubled. That subtle imperfection could mean your coin is worth thousands. And if your coin has a rich red luster, untouched by time, it could bring tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at the right auction. One auction in particular stunned the world, a 1953 Wheat penny graded MS 68 red that gleamed like fire under the lights. Collectors gasped, bid soared, and before the hammer fell, the coin reached an unthinkable value, over $200,000. And why? Because there are only a handful in the world with that level of perfection. The minting quality, the shine, the history, everything combined made it a masterpiece of time. Now imagine holding one in your hand. That small copper piece that jingled in the pockets of a post-war America could now jingle the keys to your dream car, your dream home, your dream life. That's how powerful this penny can be. But don't be fooled by its simple look. There are fakes, replicas, and damaged coins out there that may look similar, but only true collectors and graders can confirm the real treasure. So if you think you've got a 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny, don't spend it, don't sell it cheap. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, because that one decision could turn a coin worth cents into a six-figure jackpot. The emotional value of this coin runs deeper than money. Think about it. This penny has survived for over 70 years. It has witnessed generations, wars, presidents, love, loss, and progress. It's a piece of history that still breathes. Every scratch, every tone of color tells a story from a time when America was strong, hopeful, and rebuilding after a dark era. And today, that same tiny coin, the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny, carries those stories and the potential to rewrite your own story. You might have one without even realizing it. Hidden in a box of old change, buried in a drawer, or maybe stuck inside a jar that your grandparents saved, just in case. It's unbelievable, isn't it? That something as small as this can carry such unimaginable power, to take you from ordinary to extraordinary in an instant. Collectors say that the wheat reverse design, those simple stalks of wheat, is a symbol of hard work, growth, and prosperity. And maybe, just maybe, Destiny placed one of these coins in your path to bring you the same. So before you toss that old penny aside or spend it without thinking, look closer. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny could be your ticket to a story you'll tell for generations. Some of these coins have auctioned for $150,000, $180,000, and even beyond $250,000, depending on condition, color, and mint mark. There are even whispers among collectors of private sales where a flawless 1953 D penny sold for an amount too shocking to publish, somewhere around $500,000. Yes, for a single cent. You see, these coins aren't just metal. They're emotion, mystery, and destiny wrapped in copper. When you realize the fortune these coins hold, you don't just see a penny, you see a miracle. And maybe that's why, to this day, people search obsessively through jars, rolls, and old drawers, because they know that just one lucky find can change their life overnight. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of those rare gifts from the past, a coin that looks humble but hides a storm of value beneath its surface. It's not just a collectible. It's a legend. So if you ever come across one, hold it tight. Get it checked, get it graded, but most of all, don't underestimate it. Because that one small coin might be worth more than gold, more than silver, more than anything you ever imagined. A simple penny from 1953. That could make you a millionaire overnight. Next up, the coin that's been called the miracle of copper, the legend that refuses to fade, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This tiny coin, born during the fires of World War II, carries one of the most unbelievable stories in American history. What if I told you that this 1-cent coin, the same kind your grandparents used to spend on candy, could now be worth over $2 million? Yes, you heard that right. A penny, worth more than luxury cars, more than gold, more than most people earn in a lifetime. The story of the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny begins at a time when America was at war. In 1943, the U.S. Mint made pennies from steel coated with zinc to save copper for military equipment. Tanks, bullets, and communications. Copper was desperately needed for the war. So, every penny in 1943 shined silver gray instead of the traditional red-brown copper tone. But then, in 1944, something unbelievable happened. When the mint switched back to copper, a few steel planchets, those leftover metal blanks from 1943, accidentally slipped into the presses. And the result? The birth of the 1944 steel Lincoln cent, one of the most famous and valuable error coins in the entire world. Imagine this, one tiny mistake, a single error in the minting process, creating a coin so rare that collectors call it the holy grail of pennies. Fewer than 20 genuine 1944 steel cents are believed to exist, and each one can bring life-changing money at auction. In fact, one of these rare 1944 steel Lincoln Wheat pennies sold for an unimaginable $1.75 million. Another fetched $408,000, and others continue to sell in the six-figure range even today. Every time one appears, it sets the collector world on fire. Now imagine you find one, a small silvery coin that looks like a 1943 penny, but the date says 1944. That's not pocket change, that's your golden ticket. That's destiny whispering that fortune has finally found you. But that's not the end of the story. Even the regular copper 1944 wheat pennies can be worth a fortune under the right conditions. If you have a 1944 D or 1944 S penny in pristine, mint-state red condition, its value can skyrocket. A 1944 D wheat penny graded MS 68 red once sold for over $60,000. The fiery luster of that copper surface, the sharp strike, the flawless fields, it was perfection captured in metal. But the real shocker comes with the 1944 error variations. Some coins were struck on foreign planchets, blanks intended for coins of other countries, such as Belgian or Mexican centavos. Those unique pieces, born of minting confusion, have sold for $100,000, $150,000, and beyond. Each one is a tiny piece of mystery and history intertwined. Now let's pause and think for a second. How many times have you seen a 1944 penny? Maybe dozens, maybe hundreds. But what if one of them wasn't just another old coin? What if it was the one? That's the kind of thought that sends chills down the spine of every collector. You see, every 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny carries the spirit of a country healing from war, a time when hope returned, when people saved pennies not just for money, but as memories. Those coins passed through millions of hands, across decades of history, carrying stories of sacrifice, victory, and change. And among them, a few chosen ones became legends. Think about this. One man once found a rare 1944 steel penny in an inherited jar of coins. It sat there for years, untouched, ignored, dismissed as worthless. When he finally had it checked, the result was shocking. Authentic 1944 steel cent, graded high, and valued at over $1 million. That man's life changed forever, all because of a single coin that others had overlooked. The emotional punch behind this coin story is overwhelming. It reminds us that sometimes, the smallest things we ignore hold the greatest power. That one forgotten coin in a drawer could rewrite your destiny in ways you can't imagine. Collectors say the 1944 wheat penny symbolizes rebirth, the return to normal life after the war. Its wheat reverse stands for growth, unity, and abundance. And today, it's doing exactly that again. Growing fortunes, uniting collectors, and bringing abundance to anyone lucky enough to find one of the rare varieties. So before you shrug off those old coins lying around your home, stop. Look at every date. Pay attention to every detail. Because that 1944 penny might just be your miracle waiting to be discovered. Even regular 1944 pennies with striking errors, repunched mint marks, or off-center designs can fetch hundreds to thousands depending on grade. A 1944 S penny with a strong double die obverse can easily bring $5,000 to $15,000. The difference between a penny and a fortune is all in the tiny marks most people never see. The surface luster, the edges, the details on Lincoln's face, they all tell a story. And if your coin tells the right story, you're not holding a cent. You're holding a piece of living history. The Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint all produced millions of 1944 wheat pennies. But the few that came out with errors, or remained in untouched mint condition, became the rarest treasures collectors can dream of. Just picture it, a humble copper coin that once bought a loaf of bread, now capable of buying entire bakeries. That's how insane the value of these coins has become. And here's something few people know. Many 1944 pennies stored away for decades have turned red due to perfect preservation. That red tone, rich, fiery, full of life, is what collectors crave. The redder the coin, the higher the price. Now imagine having one of those, sitting quietly in your drawer. Maybe it's been passed down to you. Maybe it's been waiting, for this very moment, to reveal its worth. That's the magic of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. So, don't underestimate it. Get it checked. Get it graded. Because that little round piece of metal could be your million-dollar miracle. From wartime steel to post-war copper, from chaos to prosperity, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny carries a story that defines an era and could redefine your life. It's more than just a penny. It's a symbol of resilience, a token of hope, and a doorway to unimaginable fortune. And the next time you see a 1944 wheat penny, remember, it might not just be change in your pocket, it might be the coin that changes your destiny forever. Next up, we journey back to a time when America was crawling out of the Great Depression, when every penny counted and hope was as rare as a smile. And yet, hidden among those humble copper coins was a treasure that time itself forgot. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny. A coin so ordinary, yet so unimaginably extraordinary, that its true worth can leave you speechless. Picture this, a single cent, a coin most people would drop without a thought, has turned into a symbol of unexpected fortune. Some of these 1935 wheat pennies have sold for tens of thousands, even brushing the $100,000 mark when found in flawless, untouched condition. That's right, one small penny that could change your entire life story. The year was 1935. Franklin D. Roosevelt was president. America was still feeling the echoes of the Great Depression, and every coin that jingled in pockets meant something. Money was scarce, jobs were precious, and pennies held power. The Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint struck millions of wheat pennies, but only a few came out so perfect, so immaculate, that they would one day become priceless. And here's where things start to get unbelievably emotional. While most 1935 pennies lived and died in circulation, a handful were preserved by sheer luck, coins that never saw wear, coins that never lost their fire-red glow. Those lucky survivors, now graded as MS-67 or MS-68 red, have been known to fetch $35,000, $50,000, and in rare cases, even $85,000 at auction. Imagine that. The same coin that once bought a newspaper now buying you a car, a home, or maybe your dream future. But the story doesn't stop at perfection, because sometimes the real magic lies in the mistakes. The 1935 Wheat Penny is known for several mint errors that send collectors into a frenzy. Double die obverse strikes, off-center coins, repunched mint marks, each one transforming a simple penny into a jaw-dropping rarity. Take the 1935 double die obverse, for example. Look closely and you'll see Lincoln's face or the date slightly doubled. A subtle yet shocking imperfection that has turned ordinary pennies into $15,000 treasures. Another variety, the 1935 D with a repunched mint mark, can bring $5,000 to $10,000 depending on the sharpness and color. Collectors say that finding one of these is like winning a hidden lottery. Because you don't see it coming, you just stumble upon it, not realizing that your fingers are holding a century-old miracle. And the emotional side of this coin's story? It's powerful. Think about it, a coin minted during a time of struggle, when people stood in breadlines and families held on to faith more than fortune. This very penny circulated through hands that built America back up. It carries energy, history, emotion. It's not just metal, it's memory. Now, fast forward nearly 90 years, and that same coin is still here, turning heads, breaking records, and changing lives. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny wasn't designed to make anyone rich, yet here we are, watching it redefine wealth in the most unexpected way. In high-end auctions like heritage auctions and Stacksbauer's, collectors have paid unimaginable amounts for these coins. One 1935 Wheat Penny graded MS 68 red sold for nearly $72,000, and experts say if a flawless, perfect specimen ever appeared, it could easily touch six figures or more. But what makes this coin so enchanting is its deceptive simplicity. It looks plain, humble, and old-fashioned, the kind of coin most people overlook. Yet beneath that copper glow lies unrealized potential, the kind that makes millionaires out of the observant. And here's something you'll find hard to believe. A few 1935 pennies were struck on the wrong planchets, blanks meant for other coins. Those bizarre minting errors have been sold privately for $100,000 and beyond. Just imagine, one tiny slip-up in the mint, and decades later, someone's life completely transforms because of it. The emotion behind that is overwhelming. Because it reminds us that sometimes, our biggest fortunes come from the smallest, most forgotten things. Every curve of Lincoln's face, every letter in God We Trust, and every wheat stalk on the back tells a story of resilience. The design symbolizes strength, and somehow, all these decades later, it's still delivering strength in the form of wealth and wonder. Now, let's talk color, because color alone can be the difference between a few dollars and a few thousand. A red 1935 Wheat Penny, meaning one that has retained its original fiery copper tone, is the most desirable. Coins labeled red, brown, or brown are still valuable but can't touch the glowing beauty of a full red gem. That's why, if you have a 1935 penny that still shines like it was minted yesterday, don't ignore it. Don't spend it. Don't let it vanish. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, because you might just be holding a rare survivor worth tens of thousands of dollars. And here's the emotional twist. People have found these coins in the most ordinary places. Old coffee cans, dresser drawers, jars passed down by grandparents. They weren't searching for treasure, they just stumbled upon it. But destiny had other plans. Think about that. Your family's old change jar could be your key to financial freedom. A small copper circle from 1935 might just be the symbol of your luck, your story, your miracle. Collectors often say that the 1935 Wheat Penny represents hope reborn after hardship. It was struck in a time of recovery, a time when America was learning to dream again. And maybe, just maybe, that dream has come full circle, waiting to bless whoever finds one today. So before you overlook an old penny because it looks too common, don't. Look closer. Feel the weight of history in your hand. Because that coin could be the one that changes your destiny overnight. From the darkness of the Depression to the light of modern-day fortune, the 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny stands as proof that miracles don't always shine in gold. Sometimes, they're hidden in copper. So check your jars, your drawers, your pockets, because if you ever find one of these rare gems, you're not just finding a coin. You're finding a moment in time worth a lifetime of dreams. It's more than history. It's more than copper. It's hope, luck, and destiny fused into one coin, the 1935 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Next up, a coin that hides in plain sight. A coin so ordinary that millions have seen it, touched it, and spent it, yet only a few realized that they were holding a silent fortune. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, one of the most deceptive treasures in the entire history of American coinage. What if I told you that this one small, forgotten coin could be worth hundreds of thousands, even brushing million-dollar territory in today's collector market? Yes, a simple penny that could change your destiny overnight. At first glance, the 1951 Wheat Penny looks like any other old copper coin, worn, simple, maybe a little dull. But what you're about to discover will leave you in pure disbelief. Because beneath its humble surface lies a world of unimaginable value, rare errors, and auction records that have stunned collectors for decades. Let's go back to 1951, a time of hope, post-war growth, and prosperity in America. Families were rebuilding, industry was booming, and coins like this one were part of everyday life. The Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints struck over 1 billion wheat pennies that year, but only a few, a precious few, emerged with perfection so flawless or errors so rare that they became priceless works of history. Now imagine this, one of these 1951 wheat pennies, graded MS 67 Plus red by PCGS, sold for nearly $75,000. And another, with a unique double die feature and blazing red color, went for over $120,000. That's right, 1 cent, worth more than most people's entire savings account. But what makes it even more unbelievable is the hidden error coins that exist from this year. The 1951 D with repunched mint marks, double strikes, off-center errors, and planchet flaws that turn an ordinary penny into a collector's obsession. Each one tells a story, each one carries mystery, and each one can bring life-changing money. Some of these coins have been found accidentally, tucked away in jars, hidden in closets, passed down from grandparents who never knew the secret they held. Imagine opening an old box of coins and realizing that one of them could buy you a luxury home or pay off all your debts. That's not fantasy, it's real history happening today. And when you look closely at the 1951 D Wheat Penny, you might see something extraordinary. A repunched D mint mark, barely visible to the naked eye, yet enough to turn this tiny coin into a treasure worth thousands. The 1951 S2 hides similar surprises. Some show die cracks, doubling, or unique color variations that make collectors go wild. It's shocking to think that a coin you might toss aside as worthless could actually be your million-dollar moment. But let's go beyond the numbers, because this coin story isn't just about money. It's about emotion. It's about legacy. The 1951 Wheat Penny carries the memory of a nation's rebirth, a time when families were rebuilding dreams after war, when children saved pennies for candy, and when the smallest things brought joy. That same tiny coin now stands as a symbol of hidden greatness. Think about it, nearly 75 years later, those same pennies still exist, quietly waiting to reveal their true worth. Some of them are sitting in forgotten jars, collecting dust, holding power no one has yet realized. And when one of them surfaces, the world watches in awe. Collectors call the 1951 Wheat Penny the sleeper coin, because it hides in the open, pretending to be ordinary, while its true value keeps shocking those who discover it. One jaw-dropping example, a 1951 S Wheat Penny in MS 68 red, one of the highest grades ever certified, stunned everyone when it fetched $178,000 at auction.
Why?
Because it was flawless, a perfect snapshot of the past, preserved like it was minted yesterday. Another story tells of a family who found a near-perfect 1951 D penny in their father's old desk drawer. They almost spent it at a gas station, but something about its shine caught their eye. After grading, the coin turned out to be ultra-rare, and it sold privately for over $90,000. It's emotional to even imagine that kind of discovery. A coin passed down through generations, forgotten by time, suddenly becomes the key to financial freedom. That's not luck, that's destiny written in copper. The details of the coin are just as symbolic. Lincoln's portrait, calm, strong, wise, watching over a nation that had seen both pain and recovery. The wheat ears on the reverse, symbols of harvest, growth, and prosperity. Every curve, every line, every tiny scratch tells a story of America's strength. And now that same coin, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, tells a new story, of fortune, of second chances, of miracles hidden in plain sight. If you ever find one with a blazing red luster, untouched, glossy, like fire frozen in metal, you may be looking at a six-figure treasure. Even coins with lesser grades can bring thousands, depending on the condition, color, and mint mark. A 1951 DMS 66 red might bring $4,000 to $6,000, while an exceptional 1951 SMS 67 red can soar beyond $10,000. But what makes this coin truly heart-stirring is its connection to real people, ordinary Americans who never dreamed that their change could be worth a fortune. It represents hope. It represents the idea that sometimes you already possess your miracle, you just haven't recognized it yet. And here's something else few people know. During 1951, the quality control at the mint was not as tight as today. That means many minor minting errors slipped through, creating subtle but valuable variations. From doubled letters in Liberty to weak strikes on Lincoln's shoulder, each tiny difference could be the sign of a rare and expensive coin. So next time you find a 1951 wheat penny, don't dismiss it. Don't spend it. Study it. Examine every curve, every mint mark, every shine. Because that one coin could be your ticket to a new life. Even worn 1951 pennies carry emotional value. They remind us of where we came from. They are pieces of American soul, echoes of simpler times, and proof that the smallest things often hold the biggest surprises. It's almost poetic that a penny minted in a world rebuilding from struggle could, decades later, rebuild someone's life with unimaginable wealth. So, if you ever come across one of these coins, hold it close. Because you're not just holding copper, you're holding a dream, a legacy, and a potential fortune. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny isn't just old money, it's alive with magic, whispering the same truth to every lucky finder. Never underestimate the smallest treasures, because one day, they might be worth more than you ever imagined. And maybe, just maybe, that little penny in your hand could make you a millionaire overnight.